All right, David, this is how I would propose that we look at using the data as well as LinkedIn. So if I come over here, here's my list of wells drilled. I can see that, hey, we're in the Eagleford. I know District 1's Eagleford, and I can look at this data and say, okay, this is Eagleford. Here's Pioneer. Could be Conoco, whichever company we wanted to take a look at. I come over here to my LinkedIn and then Control V, Pioneer Natural Resources. And we know in the buying process, people are going to be speaking with supply chain management. So we will go supply chain. So I'm now looking at Pioneer supply chain people. And then I can come over here and I like to see, who do I have the most shared connections with? I have over 10,000 connections in the oil and gas services industry. I can say, hey, there's Dan Schultz. Looks interesting. Uh, a little bit of a brain fart here. Let's see if we can bring him back here. There we go. There's Dan. Let's try him again here and see if it works. And then there we go. And what I can see, I can't see his connections because I'm not connected to him, but I can see the mutual connections that we have. And then we'll just come down here and we'll take a look at some different individuals. And I'm looking for people that are in the power industry, compression, those types of things. I can say, oh, here's Chris. That's great. One thing I can see is I can see Chris's connections. So I'm going to go ahead. I clicked on Chris's connections, and then I'll come over here to all filters. And then I can come back here to the original list. And then I can say, well, let's take a look at ConocoPhillips. And we can work our way down the list of the companies that happen to be drilling here. Control C. And we'll come back here and I'm going to say, hey, I'm interested in ConocoPhillips. And I'm looking for first and second connections. And then I can say apply. And we'll take a look here. And then there's a supply chain management, production engineer, and production supervisor. So that tells me that these are some key people that he happens to be dealing with in that particular market. I can collect those people's names and then pass them on to you. Then we come back here. And again, we could say, okay, I'm going to now come over here. And let's say I'm looking in the Midland area and I'm interested in XTO. And then we could say, who does he know in the XTO energy side of it? And we can apply. And there's an operations engineer and so on and so forth. Just work through the system that way. We don't just limit it to him as an individual. We can go to, Pioneer Natural Resources. We could go to their supply chain management person, look for people in a similar type of industries. And then we can do a quick comb through and see who it is that we want to see, who they might be related to, and then do a data collection project for you. I think ultimately it's a good way to use the list. We'll come here, just one more selection. So I did Pioneer. Let's go back to, let's say, staying in this area here, we'll go Merit Energy, Control C. And then, again, this is a little bit random here. I'm just showing you kind of how it works. Let's say all filters, and we'll take Pioneer off of there. And we'll say Merit, Control V, Merit Energy Company, and then apply. And there was none. So, again, no guarantee of how many you'll get per guy. You do a few different hits, but you go through the different work some different models to see who you're going to deal with. You're really going to get the guys that he's dealing with on a regular basis. And then that way we kind of work through the different supply chain management people. So here's a senior compressor foreman at EOG Resources. Great contact on that side of it. And so altogether probably be about like a 5-hour project that we're looking at, $450. And, I think you'd get some great contacts as it relates to these lists. And then we can build out that list and come in and say, okay, we know the 5-10 top guys in each one of these areas. Here is the supply chain management person that we're interested in because we've seen the associated contacts. Here's a compressor individual. Here is an operations guy, and really kind of work it 3x3 on that side of it. So we'll go Diamondback, then apply, and then there's happened to be nobody there. But that's the process that I would go through, and look to try and out of each one of the regions, out of the top operators picks a 10 key operators out of the different basins, 10 or 15 key operators, and look to do a 3x3 model, based on this. Supply chain management person, a compressions person, or maybe a 4x4, and then a completions person and an operations person, and be able to come back with contacts on each. And then when you're getting those weekly lists, you've got some people to talk to. Hey, I see you're doing this. Who should I be talking to? So on and so forth. So if you have any questions, just let me know.